So the funny thing is with cross mapping is, I think one of the coolest things about it is that I feel like it found us, and really found. It found me maybe in my personal experience of it when I had injured my shoulders, and I was doing some qigong and tai chi in a park that I would practice in when I was doing some shoulder healing work, and I noticed that one shoulder was getting better faster than the other shoulder was. And I started to pay attention, for some reason, I started paying attention to what was working really well on the good shoulder, and the other shoulder started activating in the mirror muscles on the other side. And I was just blown away by that. And so I started thinking about the kind of the natural course of things, like what happens naturally in our experiences, what happens naturally in our lives. And there was this natural overflow of activity into a part of my body that seemed like it wanted to keep up with the cool kids in my body, and it started to work a little bit better. And I started to activate that even more and develop physical cross mapping from that. And went on to create a methodology, if you will, a 5-step methodology that I started using with all of my patients at the time to help them have better range of motion, better strength, better function, better balance, all that stuff. And then I remember when we got together and I thought I explained to you kind of how physical cross mapping worked, and then you took it.
You did.
Yeah.
You did explain to me how physical cross mapping worked, but I wasn't completely paying attention, which is par for the course for me. But I knew Brian was using cross mapping with just about all of his clients. You were using it with a lot of people, and our rooms were right next door to each other. So, I'd see people coming out and thanking Brian for the great session. And I was like, what are you doing? And he said, oh, I'm doing this thing called cross mapping that I used on myself. Now I'm using it with my people. And he explained it to me. So I went and I started using it with my people too. Brian was seeing more people for chronic pain and physical issues. My people had stress and anxiety and those kinds of things. And so I came out of my room one day and I saw Brian coming out of his room and I said, hey, thanks for the cross mapping stuff that you taught me. It really works great.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, you used it with so-and-so? And I said, yeah. And you were like,
I said, well, what did you do?
She doesn't have any, chronic pain issues. And I said, no, she's stressed out. She thought it was great. And you're like, yeah, wait a minute. What did you do? So that's when we discovered that cross mapping was good for all kinds of things.
So kind of like the birth of emotional, what we call it, cross mapping for emotional pain was kind of at that point in time.
Yeah, we started using it for all kinds of things.